Hi everyone, hope you're having a good day. I've never really done anything quite like this before, but I felt it was important because today is World Eating Disorder Day, and I wanted to come on and share a little bit of my experience and what I learned because I don't want anyone else to have to go through what I went through, and if I can say anything that could be helpful, it's worthwhile. So thanks for tuning in. I just have like a few points to talk about. So when I was really young, 14, that's when a journey with anorexia began for me. So yeah, at the age of 14, within a few months, I actually lost 40 pounds, which is a lot to lose at that age. And the way I did it was through, very restrictive eating. And it really took a toll on my body. The health effects were very severe. I lost my period for 4 whole years. I didn't have a period for 4 years because of that. I lost clumps of my hair, just like falling out in the shower, like in scary clumps. I was cold all the time. My nails were blue, like all the time for a while, like for a couple months. And just like all the other things, like with the hormones being affected and bone density, and I could go on, but those are like the most obvious and severe symptoms from doing that to my body. Now the crazy thing is, at only 14 and doing that, I actually got a lot of positive feedback for the way I looked in this progression, in this journey. And even at the end, when like some people were concerned, some people, were saying I didn't look good, I still had this positive affirmation of people saying, like, you look great. Some specific quotes were like, you look perfect now, you look so much better now. Even my health and gym teacher told me a way to have self-control, which is, crazy. But it was just like a drug that would feed me like all this attention and affirmation. It kind of kept me on that path too long, and made me afraid to go off of it. But that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today, is what we say matters. What we say to people, even compliments, depending on where it comes from, can be dangerous. So I think we just have to watch our words and be careful if we're complimenting someone, if we don't know how they got there. If we know their health journey, that's a different thing. But just making a sheer compliment off of someone's appearance or a comment can actually be really damaging. And I think we need to stop celebrating people that look really thin or really fit just for that. We can celebrate if they're doing things they love at the gym, or if they're eating in a way that nourishes and loves their body. But I think just to celebrate the outward shell does a disservice to all of us. It puts the emphasis on the wrong thing. And yeah, that's my first point. So my second point that kind of goes along those same lines is you really can't tell the health of a person by looking at their body. And just like looking from the outside, you can't tell a thin person is not necessarily healthy, an overweight person is not necessarily unhealthy. And we attach these things when we make a whole lot of assumptions without knowing that individual's habits or journey or why they might look a certain way. I know like my natural set point is not very, very thin. So even for some people, what would look and actually be healthy for them would be very thin. But when I was that thin, I was like dying inside. So it's not like the same for every person as well. Like if I look back on my life, like some of the times I might have looked the most fit, most like trendy healthy, I haven't been healthy internally. And the times I might have maybe looked overweight, I've actually been the healthiest. in terms of like hormones, blood work, like real internal facts and indicators of what's going on in the body. So yeah, that's just number 2 is if we could change that in culture, like just assuming we know about someone's health or about their habits by just looking at them. We don't. And there's all sorts of people with different reasons why they might be overweight or different reasons why they might be underweight. And we can't assume, so we shouldn't assume. Now, the third and probably most important thing I want to mention is the sense of worth, the sense of value, everything that's underneath what we're doing. So if we are doing these things that are extreme and destructive to ourselves in efforts to attain a greater sense of worth or value or beauty, we are never going to get those results. From like self-destruction doesn't bring those results. It actually brings the opposite of what we want. We might go, down that path thinking we're going to achieve like feeling more beautiful, feeling more alive, feeling more worthwhile, or whatever, usually it's subconscious. We wouldn't articulate it like that. But whatever we think we're going to get out of it, it's the opposite. Treating yourself like that in any way, it only makes you feel worse. It only gets stricter. It only gets harsher. It's just not the way to get there. It's like the opposite path. The thing is, if we take that lie, like I'm not good enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or whatever that lie is, and we like serve it, it can become like our master, and we always have to attain something that's not attainable, and we always have to push ourselves more. Like the rules change, it becomes stricter. It's just not something that will ever make you feel good about yourself in the long run. It will actually only make you feel worse. So what I've found through my journey is like in my spirit knows already. Like your spirit knows that you're beautiful. Your spirit knows that you're amazing. And that's the voice you need to amplify. That's the thing you need to turn up in your life and tune into and just trust and just believe. And when you do that, you're not going to have all these self-destructive patterns of getting there. You just know you're there and you live your life, and the fruit from that follows. You're going to feel good enough. You're going to feel beautiful. You're going to feel alive. That is the fruit of living in the truth, because that is the truth. Deep down is something that doesn't change. Like you were born with value and with beauty. It doesn't change. Like our bodies are going to change over our life in so many different ways, but your spirit knows that you're amazing and beautiful and worthwhile. And that is what you have to listen to and keep going down that path. And I assure you, you will feel it. You will feel the change. It's way more powerful and effective than starving yourself or hurting yourself through exercise or whatever you're doing with a bad motive. I'm not talking about getting healthy. It's the motive. It's the heart issue behind what you're doing. But if your heart behind that believes, what God said about you, that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, that there's a purpose in you, that there's a divine destiny, and that there's just intrinsic beauty in your soul no matter what you're doing, that is what is going to carry you through. And then you won't be on this this shaky ground, like this shaky foundation of whatever trend is beautiful, that decade. Like it's not as much being skinny anymore. It's like having a big butt. Like it changes all the time, and there's new rules all the time, and no one can live up to that perfectly. So yeah, that's just a dead end, and I'm just here to warn you after, walking through it in ways I would never want to walk through it, I'm free from that restriction now, but, it took a toll on my metabolism, on my body. It totally took a toll. So yeah, thanks guys for letting me share. It was really, really great. Thank you if you've watched till the end. Love yourself, nourish yourself, and yeah, share this if you know someone who's struggling with any kind of eating disorder, and hopefully it'll help. Okay, bye.